Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Open Range. It's a movie starring Robert Duvall, Kevin Costner, and uh, some other people, and Diego Luna from Andor. This movie came out I think 2003, so he is real young in this movie. He plays like the young little kid, and it's so weird to see him in that role because I picture him in like Andor and Rogue One, and kids got range. This is a Western, and I generally don't like Westerns, but I do generally like Kevin Costner films. So when I was talking with somebody about how I liked Horizon, the American Saga movie with that Kevin Costner, at least part one, because that's all that's out at this point, they were like, hey, have you seen Open Range? You might like that movie. So I checked out this movie, and you know what? I did like it. So I like Robert Duvall. You probably remember, well, at least I remember him from like Gone in 60 Seconds, Secondhand Lions, John Q, got, whole bunch of movies, and now this one. And then, of course, Kevin Costner. If you don't know that name, I don't know how to help you, friend, but you should know that name at this point. Anywho, so they, our main characters, they play free range cattle herders, so I guess they just kind of like go around and have their cattle graze on federal land, and they end up having to stop by this town for whatever reason that they don't want to, but they have to, and so there's people that are basically unfriendly to free-range cattle grazers. I think they use a different term in the movie, but basically they're like, you just come on through here and eat all the grass or whatever with your cows, as opposed to just letting our cows that are here and I don't know. It seems plausible that in that day and age that was a thing that people didn't like, and why they didn't like it. But in this movie, and just like from just what I'm seeing, I'm just like, why don't they like them? I don't. It seems like there would be enough grass for the passersby as well as the herds that I haven't seen from town. But there's a lawman who's an asshole and basically makes trouble for these guys, and then they continue to try to make things worse for them. Like these guys, they just want to live, and as soon as they get their things and whatever, they just want to go. But this lawman he and his posse of other ne'er-do-wells keep making things worse for our main characters, such that they can't leave and they have to do something because they can't let injustices stand in that way. And so, yeah, I would say that if you liked Wyatt Earp or the whatever that other version of Wyatt Earp is called, then you will like this, because it definitely had a bit of that feel a couple times where I'm like, okay, but it also might just be a symptom of a Western, or a good Western, or a Kevin Costner Western, because he's had a lot of them, and a lot of them are good, at least ones that I've seen with him in it. So maybe I'm just more of a Kevin Costner fan than a Western fan, and he kind of trumps that part. But I enjoyed this movie. I thought that it was a pretty realistic portrayal of that place and time and those people and how they would act and what they would do and what they would feel is right versus wrong and how they would do those things and how gunfights would go realistically. And yeah, I enjoyed all the side characters. A couple of them I recognized from other things, and I'm just like, oh yay, I'm glad you got more work because I thought you were great in this, that, or the other thing. So it's great to see that, and just the general interactions with the characters are quite believable and fun, interesting. The music is not terrible. It's not the most memorable thing out there. And then the cinematography, obviously, you're shooting in what appears to be the Old West. But I think they did a good job of, like, when this movie was shot, they wouldn't have been able to, as easily, CGI out any roads or other modern buildings and, whatever else. So from the trivia, it sounds like they actually went somewhere in, like, bumfuck nowhere in order to film this, to have really great cinematics and be able to see just, an open range, if you will. So they did a really good job with that. And all the costumes and everything else, because in some of the lower budget ones or some of the worst ones, like you can tell, you're like, oh, these people have never worn this in their lives, but they did a good job with the wardrobe to make it appear lived in, and that these people were natural in this environment. So yeah, the one thing that kind of bugged me was they were playing right in the beginning, so it's not spoiling anything, but right in the beginning they're bitching about this huge ass storm that's going on overhead and how it's raining everywhere, and so they're on this like the four of them are playing cards on this like right underneath this, I don't know, gazebo, basically, just blankets or whatever else that's overhead of them. And so they're able to be playing these cards, and it's completely dry, but you see there's like rivulets of water just pouring down from the hillside that they are on. And then the next day, when you see like, the wagon or whatever has like sunken into the ground a bit, you see that they were either on or very near the top of this thing, but like, wouldn't water have been still pouring in? Because it didn't seem like they were actually quite like over the top. So how was all that water cascading down, but none of it actually got like onto where they were laying? Maybe I just missed it, and I'm not gonna go back and rewatch that part just to figure that out. But it seemed like there was not anything blocking the water from whooshing down and interrupting their paper card game from getting all wet. But aside from that, everything else worked and jived in my brain with believability for the time. And like I said, I may not like Westerns, but I like a good character story and a good Kevin Costner film, and he always does really well. And Robert Duvall, there's a reason that I listed Robert Duvall first. Partly because the trivia said that Kevin Costner wanted his name listed first in the credits, and partly because Robert Duvall is excellent as the man of wisdom in this, and Kevin Costner is not like the old guy. Like he's not the boss in this. Robert Duvall is the boss, and he's the helping hand, and has a bit of backstory, whatever. And like, yes, a lot of this is Kevin Costner focused, but Robert Duvall knocks it out of the park. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and yeah, I would say if you like Kevin Costner films, regardless of whether or not you like Westerns, you probably like this one, especially if you liked Horizon. Hopefully they come out with part 2. Also, fun fact, as of right now, according to IMDb, Robert Duvall, still alive, born in 1931, still alive, so good for him. Anywho, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye!